Intro. The sound that haunts her, have you ever noticed? That the most deafening pain isn't a scream or a slammed door or a final, "I'm done"? It's the silence that comes afterward. The silence that follows the betrayal. The silence that echoes when the one who used to care no longer replies. That stillness isn't Pisce's power. But most men don't know this. They break the moment. She pulls away. They text, call, beg, thinking that somehow their words will glue the shattered mirror. But here's the raw truth. The more you try to fix her chaos, the deeper you fall into it. That's not love. That's self-erasure. And until you stop chasing, you'll keep bleeding for someone who already walked away holding the knife. This video isn't just a message. It's a shift, a turning point, a return to your throne. We're going to show you why silence isn't cowardice, it's strategy. Why detachment isn't cold, it's survival. And by the end, you won't just understand what breaks her. You'll become the silence she never thought she'd hear. So lean in. This isn't just a breakup, recovery guide. This is a blueprint for becoming a man she can never forget. Chapter 1. Silence is the blade she never saw coming when she walks away. When she ghosts you. When she acts cold, distant, detached, your instinct screams, say something. Make her understand. Fight for what you had. But the harsh reality. She already made her choice. In every word you send, her every voice note you record. At 2 a.m., every paragraph you type and delete and type again. It's not showing your strength. It's showing your addiction to her validation. She doesn't hear your pain. She hears her power, and that's what feeds her ego. But silence. Silence starves that ego. It forces her to sit with herself with the truth she tried to avoid. The truth that you didn't need. Her permission to walk away. Because silence isn't passive. It's confrontational in the most brutal way. It mirrors her behavior back to her. And when there's no voice on the other end of her chaos, that's when she begins to hear the echoes of her own choices. Chapter 2. Emotion is her weapon, but detachment is your armor. Let me make something clear. She doesn't always leave to forget you. Sometimes she walks away just to see if you'll chase, to test the leash, to feel wanted without giving anything back. It's not always love. Sometimes it's power. And the moment you cry, beg, explain, or justify, you hand her exactly what she was looking for. Control. Emotion is the battlefield she understands best. Because when you're emotional, you're predictable, you're pliable, you're no longer the man with gravity. You're a satellite orbiting her chaos. But what happens when you don't chase? When your energy retreats, when she sends the bait and you don't bite, she panics. Because what she wanted wasn't closure. It was confirmation. Confirmation that you were still affected, that she still mattered. But detachment is lethal. It's not anger. It's not vengeance. It's a quiet recalibration. Detachment says, I accept what happened. I release what no longer serves me. And I choose myself over your confusion. She won't understand it at all. First, she'll interpret it as arrogance, indifference, but what she won't see. What she won't understand until it's too late, that your silence isn't meant to punish her. It's meant to protect you. Protect your peace, your focus, your rise. Because when a man is truly detached, he no longer seeks answers from chaos. He builds peace where pain used to live. And that's when you become a threat, not to her life, to the illusion she held of who she thought you were. You're no longer broken, you're building, and she won't know what to do with that version of you. Chapter 3. Scarcity makes. You inevitably will understand this. What's always available is never valued. What's always saying yes becomes background noise. But withdraw your energy make. Your presence ran suddenly. She's checking your status. She's refreshing your page. She's wondering who replaced her. Scarcity triggers fear. Fear of loss. Fear of being replaced. Fear of realizing too late that you were not a chapter. You were the entire book. See, it's not just about going silent. It's about becoming unavailable to the things that once disrespected you. Your time is priceless. Your energy, exclusive. your love. It's not a handout. And when she sees that, she realizes what she lost. Not just attention, not just validation, but access. You were access to peace, too, strength to depth. Now she's locked out, and that door, it doesn't just shut, it vanishes. That's the power of scarcity. She thought she had time, she thought she could come and go. But now, she's stuck reliving the moments she didn't value. While you live the life you no longer share, Chapter 4. Mystery makes you magnetic. Let me tell you a secret. Predictability is poison in attraction. When she knows when you'll call, when you'll beg, when you'll fall apart, you're not a man anymore. You're a puppet, a toy she can put on the shelf and reach for when boredom hits. But when you go silent, when your routines vanish, when she can't guess your next move, now you become something else. A question, a tension, a what. If you become the mystery, and the human brain, especially hers, can't handle unanswered questions. She starts wondering, did he replace me? Why hasn't he called? Was I never enough? And unlike words which she can twist, argue with, or ignore, mystery offers no closure. Just silence, just space, just her imagination eating her alive. And that is far louder than any argument you could have had. You don't have to play games, just live, just build, just heal. Privately, powerfully. And when she scrolls through your life, trying to find evidence that you still care, let her find nothing but progress. Let your silence tell the story. Let your growth do the talking. Because mystery doesn't just make you magnetic, it makes you unforgettable. Chapter 5. Her ego cannot handle rejection. Here's what most men get wrong. They think she left because she stopped caring. But that's not always true. Often, she leaves to see if she still matters. She expects the chase, the validation, the late-night calls that prove her hold on you is real. Because to her ego, your heartbreak is her applause. But when you don't chase, when you don't argue, when you don't flinch at the storm, you become a mirror she never wanted to face. Rejection doesn't just bruise her pride, it obliterates the illusion that she was irreplaceable. She told herself you'd fall apart, that you'd spiral, that you'd crumble under the weight of her absence. But you didn't. You healed. You rose. You grew into a version of yourself. She can't reach anymore. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. You didn't walk away to hurt her. You walked away to honor yourself. Rejection isn't an insult, it's a boundary, it says. I won't bleed just to prove I cared. I won't chase someone who ran from my love. I won't lose myself trying to save someone who was content watching me drown. When a woman expects to be chased and finds only silence, that silence becomes her tormentor. Because it means you had the strength to choose yourself, and in a world where most men crumble, that strength makes you unforgettable. She'll remember it longer than your words. She'll feel it every time she wonders, what if? But by then, you won't be looking back. Chapter 5. Her ego cannot handle rejection. Here's what most men get wrong. They think she left because she stopped caring. But that's not always true. Often, she leaves to see if she still matters. She expects the chase. Validation. The late-night calls that prove her hold on you is real, because to her ego, your heartbreak is her applause. But when you don't chase, when you don't argue, when you don't flinch at the storm, you become a mirror she never wanted to face. Rejection doesn't just bruise her pride, it obliterates the illusion that she was irreplaceable. She told herself you'd fall apart, that you'd spiral, that you'd crumble under the weight of her absence. But you didn't. You healed. You rose. You grew into a version of yourself. She can't reach anymore. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. You didn't walk away to hurt her. You walked away to honor yourself. Rejection isn't an insult, it's a boundary, it says. I won't bleed just to prove I cared. I won't chase someone who ran from my love. I won't lose myself trying to save someone who was content watching me drown. When a woman expects to be chased and finds only silence, that silence becomes her tormentor. Because it means you had the strength to choose yourself, and in a world where most men crumble, that strength makes you unforgettable? She'll remember it longer than your words. She'll feel it every time she wonders, what if? But by then, you won't be looking back. Chapter 7. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate every time you ignore the red flags, every time you forgive betrayal without change, every time you swallow disrespect just to keep the peace. You're not showing love. You're setting a price tag on your soul. And whether you realize it or not, you're teaching her a dangerous lesson. You can hurt me, and I'll still stay. That's not compassion. That's self-betrayal dressed as loyalty. People treat you based on what you tolerate, not what you deserve. They calibrate their behavior to your boundaries or lack of them. If she lied and you stayed, if she disrespected you, you justified it. If she pulled away and you pulled harder, then she learned she could walk all over you without consequences, but silence. Silence changes the contract. It says, you don't get to mistreat me and still have access to me. It says, I may have loved you, but I will not abandon myself for you. When you go silent, you're not playing games. You're setting terms. Terms that say, my love comes with standards. My peace is not up for negotiation. My soul is not a doormat. This isn't bitterness, it's clarity. Because the longer you let someone treat you like an option, the harder it becomes to convince them you were the prize.